When he was just 10 years old, Tyler Henry had a premonition about his grandmother's death, and ever since, he knew he had a special gift.
Now, Tyler uses his unique ability to help celebrities connect and communicate with loved ones who have passed in his E-series, E-Hollywood Medium.
Yeah, kicking off season 2, Tyler sits down with Bobby Brown and relays what he says are messages from Brown's ex-wife, singer Whitney Houston. Take a look.
She's very insistent to acknowledge, no matter how I died, I need them to know the heart. I need them to know the heart. And there's a feeling of having a susceptibility to a heart arrhythmia and also having a susceptibility just to a heart issue. But I can distinctly tell there are other aspects to this passing. People talking about this, discussing this heart thing, but it's something else. It's like, or I die of something else, people think I die of something else. And there's just an emphasis on basically saying, like, people don't know the full picture of how, to what extent this really affected me.
Tyler Henry, welcome.
Yes, good morning.
Boy, this can be, I can only imagine, a lot of pressure in addition to just that intimacy that you're feeling with him, because you're talking about someone everybody knows, Whitney Houston.
Right. Well, it was actually interesting because I knew who Whitney Houston was, but I didn't recognize Bobby Brown. And so when he opened the door, he was dressed in sweatpants. It was just a regular house. And so I went in because I never know who I'm reading. And it was really profound because everyone, was interested in Whitney Houston, but the majority of the reading really focused on his sister who had passed away, who was not in the public eye. And I think that for him is what validated that experience, because of course they're skeptics, but for him, he got the validation from family members and details that he knew there was no way I could know. And that really validated that experience.
But is there more pressure, because we do know that Whitney Houston, we know the way that she died, and so now you're giving additional information about that.
Absolutely. It's a really interesting position to be in, and I always try to be diplomatic and sensitive to the client's feelings, but my goal really is to heal, and this was someone who clearly needed the closure and needed the messages, and it felt amazing to be able to provide that.
You know what I find interesting about your show and about your work is that you're talking with people about their lives, and it's not focusing necessarily on fame. And I feel like that teaches us so much about how we live.
Absolutely.
And so what have you learned about living from reading? What is the advice that people who you read give you?
Right. Well, I'd say just in doing over 1,000 readings with celebrities and non-celebrities, everybody fundamentally needs the same things. We all experience loss. We're all looking for validation. We're all looking for a connection. And regardless of who I'm reading, that's my goal, to provide that.
Such an interesting one that you did a while back. You actually sat down with Alan Thicke before he passed away, and health was one of the issues that came up in the reading. Tell us about that.
Well, that was a really interesting experience because as I sat with Alan, he was a total skeptic. And essentially what happened is a loved one who died of a heart condition came through and said, Alan, you need to get your heart checked. Don't be stubborn like I was. He was a skeptic and then ultimately, sadly, passed away a couple months later. But the validations that did come through from the family members for him, I think, gave him a sense of comfort. And I'm really thankful that I was able to have that experience with him before he passed.
And you thought about not airing it, but you ended up airing it and watching it with his widow. And what were some of the reactions that you got?
That was intense. She actually wanted it to be aired because she wanted to show the world Alan's legacy and really honor his life. And when you guys watch that episode, that's really what it's about. It's not focusing so much on his passing. It's the amazing and incredible man that he was. And he was like a father to so many just over the nation. So to get to connect, that was really special.
Well, both Jen and I have had readings from you, Tyler, and we both walked out changed. So thank you. Thanks so much. You can catch Hollywood Medium next Wednesday, May 17th at 8 Eastern and Pacific on E!
Hello, Today fans. Thanks for checking out our YouTube channel. Subscribe by clicking that button down there and click on any of the videos over here to watch the latest interviews, show highlights, and digital exclusives.